Hello and welcome to the Film Whisperers here on Ben TV, where two movie nerds talk all things film with a contemporary lens. My name is Sarge.
I'm Alice.
We've been talking a lot about film, but we really haven't spoken about actors as much, have we?
No, I mean, sometimes it crops up if we have a particular love or dislike for specific ones.
Yep.
I mean, yours would definitely be
Leonardo DiCaprio.
as a dislike,
Yes.
but then you love
Reese Witherspoon.
Reese Witherspoon, yeah.
But I think one of the things that I really want to talk to you about, and this will be good to unpack, is the concept of actors playing themselves. Why do you think this is an appealing thing?
What do we mean by actors playing themselves? It's kind of a bit of a typecast, but I think it's an actor with a strong personality, and then that personality is mostly what you see, or it definitely shines through in each character that they're playing, where it's almost like the character is just the actor's natural persona.
Or an extension of it.
Or an extension of it, yeah. Why do we like it? I think it's kind of a popularity contest, right? It's we're not going to watch someone that we dislike, but if we really like that actor and then they pretty much play themselves, we know what we're going to kind of get. Maybe it's a bit of a comfort thing.
I think that's probably it, because when we go watch, and I'm just going to use, say, Jesse Eisenberg as an example,
Yes.
because I recently saw him in the film A Real Pain.
What did you think of that, by the way? I haven't seen it yet, but I
really
want
liked
to.
it.
Yeah.
I really liked it. But it's just Jesse Eisenberg just playing an awkward role. Anyway, there's a lot more to it. So, yeah.
For that specific film. But generally, Jesse Eisenberg, he just plays an awkward, nerdy,
Very.
but kind of like confident in a weird way character. Like he's
Yeah.
just doing his own thing, but he's a little bit off kilter.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think when I see Jesse Eisenberg on a poster,
Yeah.
in my mind it immediately goes to, oh, I know what I'm going to get. And
Yeah.
it's that familiarity with it all.
Yeah.
And I think every time we watch something, even if there's a supporting role and there's an actor playing a supporting role, we know, it's this person, so obviously it's going to be funny, or it's going to be awkward, or there's going to be a bit of slapstick in it.
Yeah.
And it's that familiarity, I guess, that really keeps us going.
I wonder if it's also the business of film, so the producers, people trying to sell the film, knowing that if that character is in the film, they're going to get a certain amount of
Yes.
audience as well. So, because I wonder if it's more popular, this sort of actors just playing themselves than in history. Do you think? Do you think it's more popular now than it was in the past?
Well, I think the profession of acting is really saturated now, and I think in the past you look at films and you were providing examples to me off camera, people like your John Waynes, your Clint Eastwoods. I feel as if firstly, there weren't many movies made back in the day. Chances are there was probably 1 or 2 movies that came out every week and everyone watched those films.
Yeah.
So the opportunities that these actors were provided to be in a film were probably limited as well, so they could not branch out. So if you have a film that had John Wayne in it, chances are the studios would not take the risk by putting John Wayne in a film that would not be a traditional John Wayne movie, right?
Yeah.
But now, because we have so much choice in film, the risk that actors can take to portray a different persona, a different character, is lower. So meaning, I think now it probably happens at the same rate, but because there's so much out there in terms of content, we don't feel it as much. So I think, if I'm going to take another example, Kevin Hart.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if Kevin Hart chooses to do a drama, we'd still watch it, and we'd engage with it.
It's probably happened in the silent films even. Would you say there was still that's when you had the typecast?
Yeah.
At the start of film, when film was still figuring out what it was doing, we did have the typecast, because at the end of the day, this is about, this is a business. And so they're trying to figure out how to get as many bums on seats, and they've found out, okay, this action star, if he just keeps playing the same action star, the same types of roles, then they know that they're going to get that certain amount of audience until the audience gets bored of it, and then they kind of get rid of that actor. and they get new actors in. I
Yeah.
think that kind of happened back then. Even Marilyn Monroe, for example, in the golden age of cinema, she was definitely, we're going to get that dumb blonde character type. So we're kind of talking about characters.
Yeah.
And this topic that we're talking about today, it's not just the typecast, but it's an actor just playing themselves. So I think we need to like find out, where does that start and end. So let's use an example. Who's someone really like plays themselves every time? Maybe a comedian. Kevin Hart, you said, right?
Kevin Hart, I would say.
So let's use Kevin Hart as an
yeah,
example.
Yeah.
He was a comedian first.
Yeah.
And I do think that comedians very much like take this character actors playing themselves in film, like they're the most known for it. And I think it's because, they have to sell themselves when they're selling out these shows and stuff for people to come and watch their stand-up. They have to sell themselves. And so they're always trying to get people to like them. They're trying to get people to laugh, which makes them more likable, et cetera, et cetera. Kevin Hart has built his career off being himself. He started off as a comedian, and then it's just moved into film, and people go to see him kind of play exactly
the same character.
The stand-up, but in
a
film.
Yeah.
Slightly different characters. What would you say Kevin Hart is? This is just our opinion, by the way.
Yeah. I'm loud.
Loud.
I would just say he's loud. I don't find him necessarily funny, but
he's usually got a very dominant wife, would you say?
Yeah, because he's short.
Because he's kind of short, and he's kind of got that short man, but he's joking.
Yeah.
He's a little bit fiery, but he's a sweetheart at the end of the day. But then he gets very frustrated very quickly over stuff, and then goes off on a tangent. So him, Seth Rogen.
Oh, yeah.
What are the other? Melissa McCarthy.
Melissa McCarthy. Yeah.
McCarthy. Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
Are any of these actors people that you go to see just to see them?
Look, I don't find men funny. I'm going to start with that. I just don't. I think men trying to be funny just doesn't work for me. And I think women are way more hilarious, in my opinion. And I would watch anything with a female comedian in it. So that being said, do I like Seth Rogen? No. Will Ferrell? No. Kevin Hart? No. None. Yeah, they're not funny people. In fact, they ruin things, in my opinion, whenever they try to be funny because it sounds really desperate. But with Melissa McCarthy, I think she's got talent, and I think she is really good. And yes, I will watch anything with Melissa McCarthy. I also have a soft spot for her because she's from Gilmore Girls. She was Sookie St. James from Gilmore Girls. So
exactly. I mean, it was very weird though, because Sookie St. James in Gilmore Girls is very different to who she plays now. But is she just playing herself, or is she playing a persona which has just worked? Because I think she had that breakout role after Gilmore Girls. She had the breakout role in Bridesmaids, where she played a kind of loud, not very feminine, kind of awkward, but kind of confident woman who just does what she wants kind of thing. But then she's also, falls over and does all this kind of stuff. That made her kind of a household name, I think. If people didn't know her from Gilmore Girls, she got more popular, and then as a movie star. And then I think that kind of stuck, because she kind of kept getting that role. So is she actually playing herself, or is she just playing a character which worked?
With her, I think Gilmore Girls was an outlier for her career. I think I clearly think that who she played from Bridesmaids onwards, I feel as if that's who she wanted to be. Yeah. And
she is a comedian as well.
She's a comedian, yeah.
Her husband is a writer as well.
Yes. And I feel as if the opportunities probably didn't come to someone like her. So she just did Gilmore Girls to fill in time for 7 years. And then when Bridesmaids happened and she hit that incredibly famous phase, it was I'm guessing it was probably one of those things where she just went, this is it. I've made it.
I think there is the double-edged sword.
And I think people like Jim Carrey, for example, was one of them, where he was the biggest thing in the 90s, played the same character over and over again. Yeah. And then
again, we're talking about these comedians. I think there's sort of a trajectory where they're playing themselves, they get very popular, they do a lot of films until it kind of stops getting people coming in, stop making as much money. And then I feel like they pivot. So they start doing the serious roles, because I love myself a comedian that all of a sudden does a serious
Yeah.
role. It's one of my favorite
It's very, yeah.
genres. Like, okay, so even who's the comedian that flubber?
Yeah, Robbie Williams.
Robin
Robin
Williams.
Williams. Yep.
He went in the late 90s. He started doing these more
Yeah.
serious roles.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he even did, I think it's called like 100mm or something, where
20,
he plays
23-hour photo or something, right?
23
Yeah. That he was
He's like
arrested.
a
Yeah.
creepy guy.
Yeah.
That
He was good. Yeah. He was
It's very
fantastic.
uncomfortable though, because I think that's what's kind of good about when these characters get typecast, especially as like the good guy, and then they swap and they do those serious roles or those like scary guy, like they're the bad guys.
Yeah.
It really like messes with audiences' expectations.
Yeah. I think the same with, say, Jennifer Aniston as well. You know, I think in the 90s, she just played the love interest over and over again. And now she's pivoted.
Yeah.
And now she does serious roles, and she's really good as a serious actress.
Do you think she's a good actor?
Yeah, I do. Do you?
No.
Okay. Have you seen The Morning Show or Morning Wars?
Yeah, I've watched some of it. I guess maybe I need to rewatch it. Sometimes, you know, you watch these series and you're not in the right mood when you first start watching it and you're like, eh.
In that series, at least in the first season, she's really amazing in it. Like she just, and you know, I love Reese Witherspoon. She's in it. Jennifer Aniston, she outshines Reese Witherspoon in it. Like it's a really fantastic performance. But anyway, I've also got something to ask you.
Okay.
So you just mentioned, you know, the actors who pretty much played themselves for a long time and then they pivot. Do you think there's a parallel to viewers and their life journey? So, okay, let me try and see if I can get this, can say this clearly. Let's take Jim Carrey, for example. I love Jim Carrey as a kid because as kids, we were attracted to the silly slapstick type humor, right? But then as you grow older and your life choices change, as a late 30s person, I'm not going to find that kind of humor funny because I'm not immature anymore. So as those viewers that watch these films to a certain extent and engage with this content, as we grow older, it's almost like the actors need to grow up with us and they need to understand that, you know, when you hit a certain age, that content's not going to be funny. So it's like they need to pivot because that fan base that was there with them is now all of a sudden they're of a different mindset. Am I making sense?
You are. I think that a lot of actors do it. Like you grow with your audience.
Yes, yes.
But I do think that it is like a very cutthroat industry. And so it's a bit of a risk for them. But it gets to a point, I think, where they stop making money and then I think they go away for a little bit and then they like go and do other things. What do they say? It's like you do a movie for the production company, or you do a movie for them, you do a movie for yourself. So you do a little art house and then you do like a blockbuster.
Yeah.
Like that's what's really good for actors to kind of keep going. But I think that there's these type of films. So we'll say like Kevin Hart. Okay, maybe I don't think he's done that many. I don't think he's at the serious role part at the moment. I don't even know if he will. But Kevin Hart, okay, so he just does like the same type of film, blockbuster. I don't see him doing any like little art house films, not that I've seen anyway. So there's those type of actors. They do all these kind of things. They're just playing themselves or a personality which works.
Yeah.
A heightened personality of themselves. Then it stops working.
Yeah.
Because we're like, it's not funny anymore. Adam Sandler's a really good example.
Yeah.
Then they have to like go away for a while and then they come back. They can go away for a while, enjoy what they've, you know, go on holiday.
Yeah.
And then they kind of maybe want people to pay attention to them again. And so then they go and change and do some serious roles.
Well, Adam Sandler, I don't think he's never done a serious role, has he?
No, he has.
Oh, has he?
He does like those Netflix movies.
But they're not serious. They're funny.
Oh, they're not serious. I haven't watched them.
I have. I've actually watched all of them.
Wait, so they're all funny?
They're funny.
And he's still doing the same character?
No, I think, look.
I thought he changed a bit. That's all I knew.
So he just plays a goofy, again, he's not funny. And maybe in the 90s he was funny. And in the 90s, that kind of humor would have worked. And now it just doesn't. So I think he's probably had to change that way of delivering lines and focusing on what's funny, so to speak. Like an angry man, let's take Happy Gilmore. An angry man is not funny, you know, and that was the whole thing with Happy Gilmore. And a man screaming at his wife is not funny, which again is what he tends to do, right?
Yeah.
So now he does it, but it's a bit different. So there was a film he did with Jennifer Aniston, strangely. I think it was called Murder Mystery. It was fun, you know.
Oh yeah, that was kind of fun.
Yeah, and it was just this silly film about a couple that gets caught up in a murder mystery.
It's like Clue. But I think like when you're saying that he's not funny, he was funny back then. You have to say he was like
he was funny.
We're looking back at that. We don't think it's funny. But back then when we lived that, he was funny.
Funny, yeah.
I remember thinking it was funny, but I was a kid.
Yeah, same.
But it was, you know, generally people thought he was funny. Then they kind of were like, no, cringe.
Yeah.
Which is definitely how I feel. I can't watch those films anymore.
No.
I think I can watch 50 First Dates. Even then I'm like, but he could do more serious roles though.
Yeah, maybe.
I probably wouldn't watch it.
Hang on, he did do a serious film.
I thought he did.
Yes, Uncut Gems. I haven't seen it.
It's literally what I was thinking, Uncut Gems, and I couldn't think of the name. But yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
So we've spoken about male comedians. Are there any women who you reckon play themselves?
Well, we've talked about
Melissa,
but do we want to say just comedians? Oh, what about Sandra Bullock?
I think she's got a bit of range.
I think there's ones, there's ones who are just like, I'm just going to be this character because this works. And then there's ones that kind of, it's a little bit of range. And then there's ones which have got like the crazy range, but they're like my left foot.
Daniel Day-Lewis. Yeah, he's a good actor. Charlize Theron, in my opinion, has amazing range as well. We've seen her play a myriad of roles and she's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I would say Julia Roberts as well. She's done quite a few different roles.
I guess she was definitely got typecast a bit because she was doing a lot of rom-coms.
Yeah, but she broke out of that though.
Yeah. What's the most recent film that she's done?
So she did a film with George Clooney recently, but that was a rom-com. But it actually it sort of that was a good rom-com because it was a different story where it was about a divorced couple that find chemistry together. But then before that, she did a TV show called Gaslit, where she played this character called Martha. I think it was like a wife of a senator, and it was very different for her. And it was a really good role. And she's done some like really good dramatic roles, like August, Osage County, Mona Lisa Smile. In my opinion, one of my favorite films of all time.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like she does. Yeah. She does branch out a bit.
Yeah, she's a movie star, but we know that we're going to get a bit of variety from it. But you kind of know, I think for me, I am going to like her film because I like her and I like her choices.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Leonardo DiCaprio. I know you hate him.
Yeah.
But do you think I think he's got range. I think he does a lot of different roles, but then I also think I know what I'm going to get from him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's a bit of a mix. Like he does do different characters, but he does the same like acting choices. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just how he brings a character to life is the same in every role that he does, in my opinion. So
again, like it's the same kind of selling tactic. Like you kind of know what you're going to get, but you know it's going to be, I think, he's going to be a good actor.
Okay.
Because I do think he is a good actor.
Okay.
In general, I think like obviously every actor's got like bad films, but you know there's a lot of reasons why the film might not be good. But generally, I think he's a movie star as well.
Yeah, he is. I don't rate him at all. But
let's talk about romance.
Then. Okay.
Because I think that is the number one. Kind of, you get the same kind of character. Is it the actor or is it just the typecasting? Are they just choosing that actor to do the same role?
I think romance is another kind of complicated barrel because why do studios green light romantic films? Because there is that need for people to feel a bit of escapism. At the same time, I don't think there are many romantic films that happen now. I would say it's much less.
We're in a blur at the moment with romance.
Exactly. And I think the old school romance of guy gets girl at the end, even though he's a... No, but I'm saying the character that they play ends up usually being... There's always something problematic about So pretty much every man in a romantic film is problematic, in my opinion. There's always something wrong with them, and there's always a red flag.
As is real life.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Fine. So I don't know. Okay.
And I'd say that the women can have like red flags too. Well, they've got some issue.
Yeah, that's true.
Everyone's a little bit.
They don't really show that bit, do they, in film? She's always the perfect woman with.
No woman is that perfect. No woman has that many outfits on that small of a salary. I'm sorry, something's happening.
Okay, right, okay.
Actually, can we talk about Nicole Kidman? She does a bit of everything.
Oh yeah, she's great. Yeah.
She's great. But she also plays the same kind of rich woman with amazing outfits. Like she's also always like a powerful woman. I mean, Moulin Rouge is a bit different. She was kind of powerful.
She had power in that.
She was powerful.
Yeah.
But more recently, I'd say in the last like 5 years at least, all of her like, streaming films, she's always like, she always has a wig. She always has wigs, which are like kind of perfect hair.
Yeah.
It's not perfect. The wigs are terrible, but she's awesome.
Yeah.
But she's got like the CEO vibe.
Yeah.
She has all those kind of clothes, and it's like, is that her choice because she just wants to wear nice clothes?
No, I think there's probably limitations of women of a certain age and stories written for them. I feel like that's probably the thing there. And I think with Nicole Kidman, look, she's so powerful now that she can just pick whatever film that she wants to do. Like she
then
did.
Why is she always picking the CEO roles? Like they're good, like Baby Girl, right?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. You've seen it. You love it.
Seen it. Yeah,
I will see it. I think she's like this powerful woman.
Yeah.
And then she's sleeping with a young man, and like that's not much of an issue. Doesn't seem like that's much of a power issue in the film. Is it explored in the film?
Yeah, it is.
In a tasteful way?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll watch
yeah.
it.
Because at the end of the day, Baby Girl, we're really sidetracking here, but it is about a woman who is powerful that just wants to have good sex, and she picks this young dude to please her.
It's gross. Like that's gross to me. I don't want to watch that because of that reason.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he's young and the power. I don't like it. Anyways.
So are you saying that Nicole Kidman is someone that just plays herself?
No, I don't think she does at all.
Yeah,
but
okay.
I just think that she picks roles which are kind of a little bit. They can be
very similar. Okay.
Similar, different situations.
Yeah.
But a similar character rich white woman.
100%.
Yeah.
But then I guess those are probably the only roles available for women like that.
Is there anyone that you liked at the start and then you just like got turned off from him? Because I know I do. I've got a bunch of examples.
Probably people like Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler?
He's one person I can think of.
I think like Jenna Ortega for me. I don't know if you could say that she's playing a version of herself. Maybe she is. I don't really know, but she seems to play very similar characters.
Yeah.
And at the start, I really liked her, but now I'm kind of like sick of it. Like, and I think it's just because I think she needs to grow up a bit. Like, I guess she is probably growing up, but that dark Wednesday Addams-ish, sassy, teenager-y kind of.
Yeah. It's almost like the Jennifer Lawrence phenomena. Remember when she was so big and she played very similar roles in every film that she did except for the Hunger Games franchise. And then people just hated her, just turned. The industry just went, nah, you're too quirky, you're too pretty. And now she's struggling to find roles because it's all of a sudden people just started hating her.
Like what we've said before, it's just something that you can really dislike someone, but they really need to have the forethought about, okay, this is going to get old to the audience. Let's back it up, go away for ages or go do some art house or something and then come back. And maybe you're a little bit better of an actor because you've been doing art house films and working on your craft.
Jennifer Lopez is another one I feel. She's had a bit of, she used to play very similar roles and then she's had to go away and I guess come back with, I guess, a more serious acting technique, I guess. Like, she did Hustlers, which was quite different for her. Yeah. But she was great in it. But she usually plays a very similar sort of Yeah, mainly it's just, she plays the love interest. Now she's branching out to different things, I guess.
I mean, she did Hustler, that kind of worked for her, but then she went and did her own film and that did not work.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Yeah, Marry Me, was
Marry
it?
Me, that really stuffed it up for her.
Yeah.
But I think she is similar to comedians where they become popular for their own personality. She was a singer, well, dancer first, then a singer. People knew her for that, and then she kind of was doing the films. She got the kind of, knew her for singing, for her personality, and then she was playing these similar types of roles.
Yeah.
I think you could say like sports stars would probably be another example. Sports stars that went to become actors, like the wrestlers.
Like The Rock, John Cena.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Exactly the same thing. It's the people like their personality, and that's what they build their career on.
Yeah.
But how good to have such a good personality. That's what I would like. If I was ever to become an actor, I don't, but to have such a good personality where you're just like, yeah, I'll act. I'm just going to be myself. Like, you're not really acting. Well, you could get into a whole thing about what is acting, but, you're just playing a version of yourself, just say the lines, how you want to say it without any kind of thought about the character.
Yeah, but wrestling is also a form of acting.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's true.
I mean, they're playing a character as well, and then Hollywood sort of works out, oh, this person would work really well in a film. And I mean, that's how the Rock became famous. Rock.
I mean, that's kind of like a gladiator thing, though. Like in that thing of you've got to get the people, you've got to make this persona, and you've got to get the people to love your persona for you to be able to keep playing in the arena. Otherwise, people get bored. They would cut them.
Yeah, that's right. Do you have a problem with this?
I don't really. Because we have so many films getting made these days. I'm okay with it being, if you want to see this actor play themselves, but they're on a plane, or they're on a ship, or they're on an island, or they're in corporate world. Now they've got children. I don't mind that because, like we were saying before, it's kind of like a little bit more comforting.
Yeah.
More in the comedy or the romance, things like that. You kind of know what you're going to get. You tuck yourself in. You're going to watch it with like your partner. I don't like it when it's someone that I really don't like their personality, but other people do. Say your partner or your friend, and they want to drag you along, and you're like, oh, this is boring.
Yeah.
It's, it's the same thing. That's how I feel. What about you?
I don't mind it. However, depending on the actor, I would avoid as well. So, for example, Jason Statham. I'm not watching a Jason Statham film. I mean, I don't even need to know what the film is about. I can just guess the entire plot from the poster, right? Like it's just obvious. So I would avoid a film that he's in because he just plays the same thing over and over again. But then back to say something like Melissa McCarthy. I would watch anything she's in because she's great, and she plays even though she plays the same role over and over again. I don't mind her because she's funny.
It works.
Yeah, it works. Exactly. So
it works until it doesn't work. And then they become serious.
Well, that's all the time we have for today on The Film Whisperers. Thank you for watching us. My name is Sarge.
I'm Alice.
Bye.